All right, guys. What do we remember? Where did we leave off? What's the situation?
A very long train ride.
So Birdie and Tate Clay were given another mission. They showed up at the CPMP to touch base. But the long and the short of it is we received a letter saying that we're heading to White Round, Michigan to investigate a series of suicides where each person who has committed this suicide has done so by stabbing a pen into their body. Before killing themselves, they all wrote feverishly into a journal, and they all kind of shared similar, negative aspects. So we gathered up a bit of gear and hopped on a train and had ourselves a merry time on the train, I believe, on our way to White Round, Michigan. We're there. We're supposed to go there and make contact with Sheriff Arthur Garvey. And right now, the running theory of this, according to Ghostbusters, Peggy?
Heidi.
Is that it could be psychiatric mass hysteria, but that is just a guess so far, and it's our job to get to the bottom of it.
I think important to note, all the journals had a similar saying in it. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
Ooh, I forgot about that juicy little tidbit.
On the very last page.
So far, 5 deaths have occurred this way.
And there's a pattern emerging time-wise, so I believe the day is Saturday, and we're anticipating another death on Monday if the numbers ring true. Or Sunday and Tuesday.
I have the timeline written down here.
Either way, some spooky stuff.
So you guys were given the assignment on the 26th, is what I have written down.
Yes, me too.
Okay. And the next death, as per the developing pattern, would be the 29th.
Sounds good.
Do you need a coffee?
Do you need a coffee?
There's Mountain Dew in the fridge.
There's instant coffee.
Gross.
Hold on. Let me get a good...
Ooh, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's commercial grade.
When I'm not using a knife, I do a good job.
Stab it with a knife?
For the listening audience, Cody Savage Zenner decided to open up a fresh case of beer with a knife because he'd never performed that task before and didn't know how to proceed like a rational human being. Wow, it's so mean. It's so mean.
I was trying...
That's so true.
Yeah, I was trying to open it in, like a nice dispensary way, and it didn't work out. My indelicate fingers, went a little too aggro on it. And,
I'd just say poor knife work.
And then, I tried to run over to the sink, and was like, no, don't put it there. Don't put it there. And I'm like, let me get to the sink. He's like, no, don't put it there. I'm like, no, I need the sink. And beer's spilling everywhere. I'm like, let me use the sink.
And I'm like, why is beer spilling everywhere?
Anyway, so...
He stabbed a can.
I stabbed a can.
Crisis averted. He drank the wounded beer.
Yeah.
And I just watched him let it happen.
With a look of, resigned disgust.
So, we open our scene. You guys fell asleep on the train, expecting that about when you wake up, you'll be arriving at White Round, Michigan, in Saginaw County, meeting with Sheriff Garvey. Let me get some dice rolls from you two. Can I just roll it and tell me what you get?
I preemptively rolled a 37.
84.
Okay, good. Can I see your character sheet?
You may.
Thank you so much.
You see with your eyes,
Not me.
not your hands.
Sadusky, can I have you plug your ears real quick? During the train ride, Birdie and Clay sleep pretty soundly. They've probably done a lot of traveling in their days and gotten relatively accustomed to resting when they need to in predicaments like this. It's not quiet, and so the sleep, regardless, is not excellent. But Birdie, when you wake up, you have this sense of a dream. You had one, but it's too vague and in the air, and when you try to grab at it, it's like trying to grab mist. You blink your eyes a couple more times and you're awake. You hear the familiar
Birdie will actually try to do an impromptu meditation session to see if he can't capture that dream.
Interesting. What do you have that you can roll?
I would say that would fall under the occult.
What's his occult?
60.
Roll for it.
96. That wasn't. Yeah, that was 96.
With in mind that it was a failure, what does he try to do?
Well, Birdie has learned to not disregard dreams.
Yeah.
And waking up and having that sense that he had a dream that might have, like the fact that he can't recall any of it. Nah, I'm going to try to recapture this. So that's all he's trying to do.
He tries, but his mind is too active, too awake too quickly. There's a lot to think about here, now, in the present, and he gets nothing while he tries. Around the same time, Clay, the familiar slowly open your eyes and you see your partner is already awake.
Tate will stretch out a little bit.
Rise and shine.
What does he sound like? Is he a type of guy?
He's probably more of a... He peeks open an eye and looks over at Birdie.
And that's when he'll get the rise and shine there, honeycup.
Birdie, I know you like getting up early, but no breakfast this time?
I mean, my eyes have been open for, all my life. No, I'm just kidding. I got up here just a moment ago.
Something's wrong with you, man.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about skipping breakfast, though. Haven't seen the cart lady. Not sure if they got a kitchen cart on this here steam wagon.
Would I know from walking to the front?
You would, and they do. If you... go ahead.
Just 3 or 4 cars up, Birdie, we can get the dining cart. I'm sure they're cooking up something.
Birdie's going to kind of lean into the hallway, kind of look towards the part of the train where the dining car is, just to see if there's, someone pushing a cart or clearly taking orders,
You don't, but you do see people getting up and leaving, all kind of walk in the same direction. You see somebody look over and like, oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I think we no time like the present, man. I'm guessing that there's fixing to be a line up there if we don't hustle.
I'll follow you.
All right.
I think we can kind of breeze past this part. You guys both kind of follow where everyone else is going. You go up. They have scrambled eggs and buttered toast with coffee, of course. You get your food, bring it back to your table, eat it. After some period of time, a employee comes down with a cart and collects all the plates and cups, asks if you want more coffee.
Please and thank you.
She refills your cup and moves on. You checking... I assume you guys would have a stop or a pocket watch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Looking at the clock, it is now 10:16-ish. You guys would know that it's about 10:16. You're maybe only another hour away. That hour goes pretty quick, considering the length of the rest of the journey. Sip your coffee, look out the window, journal a little, roll a cigarette, light it. After some time, the train starts to slow down. You hear the tempo and the rhythm slow down a little bit. You can see some people are getting ready to get off. You see these huge swaths of deforestation as the train continues. Huge. You see just miles and miles of stumps and mud, almost as far as the eye can see. There's a river that trails off and goes down and away, and eventually you can see a small town. You get closer and closer. It looks like just a 2.5 street town, and the train stops.
Lovely place, huh?
I'm sure glad it's cut down trees in a river.
Right? Less places for folks to hide who are up to no good.
Well, last time it almost didn't go too well for us.
Yeah, well, at least now we got just a bit of civilization to work with.
I can't help to think that this deforestation could have something to do with our issue too. If just a broad guess thrown out there.
Well, I don't see the connection personally, but I mean, run with it. See what you come up with.
A attendant announces to everybody the destination. White round, white round. You guys get up, grab your bags, depart. You are, again, well, for a second you think you're the only two getting off the train. But then you see another gentleman who is hurriedly packing his bags in the cart ahead of you, and he gets off with you. You get to the train station, and you're at White Round. Looking out at the town, you see 3 rows of buildings, 2 roads. The very center row of buildings, the frontmost, it looks like shops. A good way down, you see what looks to be houses. There's a gentleman standing there. Looks like he's waiting for you, and he looks like a sheriff. So you guys are at the train stop. One person has gotten off with you. You see this small town. You'd think maybe 100 or so, 200 people may live in the area. But you are surrounded by a ton. There's some trees left, but a lot of them are cut down. A lot of them. It's kind of quiet. You don't hear birds and wildlife, maybe some insects and stuff like that. There's a couple of horses and people going up and down the, dirt roads. And a tall sheriff, clean-shaven, bald, stands with his hands at his hips, watching the 3 people depart the train. The guy next to you, he smells pretty good. He wears a bowler cap. His sleeves are pulled up, and he's got a suitcase. He looks over at you guys kind of with a curious look, then down at the town and starts walking.
Well,
Strange.
I mean, seeing stranger.
I suppose you're right.
Yeah, let's go say hi.
Is that you, Sheriff Garvey?
Oh, hey. You must be the special agents.
Tate Clay, special agent. He goes to shake his hand.
Sheriff Garvey, nice to meet you.
Yep. Marshal Hubert Johnson, but you can call me Birdie.
Yeah, Birdie. Okay, well, I have a office in town we can head to. Do you have everything you need? I can show you also where you'll be staying. There's an inn in town.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad idea to go drop our bags off real quick.
Okay. Not that there's, hard to get lost here, but you'll be
I
staying
can
at
tell.
the Will Scott's.
Will Scott's.
Yeah. Here, follow me.
Lead the way.
He turns and starts walking.
Birdie's going to look around Well, he's just been taking the land in. Is there an obvious sawmill or lumber mill or anything like that around?
Looking through, you see the occasional structure and out in the deforestation, but you don't far off. It looks like, maybe there was a shack there or something like that, but nothing in the immediate vicinity. No.
Tate wants to kind of keep his eyeballs on the other individual that got off the train and see where he heads towards.
Okay. While, Sheriff Garvey is talking to you guys and, here, follow me. You start walking. You see the individual that got off the train with you. He walks down one of the streets and continues toward the houses that are a little further down and then gets out of sight. So you guys are following the sheriff, and you said you wanted to have a conversation with him?
Hey, Sheriff.
Yeah.
You guys have a tornado come through town?
No.
What's going on out there with all the trees and such?
Oh, that's the logging company came and left. They took everything that they needed.
And just left you high and dry here, huh?
Yeah.
Any issues with them while they were around?
No, well, here, let's go inside. I'll give you the rundown of everything. So you guys walk down the little street on the left. There's a cobbler, little shoe store, named the Bolnoskre. Bolnoscre. Bolnoskre. Cobblers. You see a general store called Smithson's General. There's another building that's unmarked. Maybe it's housing, something like that. You walk past the doctor, pharmacy, kind of hybrid of the two. There's a bank. At the very end is a small building, about the size of a really small house, but it's very rectangular, very plain. Sheriff Garvey pulls out a key ring, flips through it a little bit, unlocks the door and opens it. You go inside and it's a small sheriff's office. At this point in time, at this point in history, sheriff's departments would, depending on the county, have their main office, and then they would have little satellite offices around town. Around the county, rather. This, to your eyes, is a little satellite office. There's a desk, some lockers, and a small cell. 2 cells.
Can't imagine you have much cause for using them, huh?
Well, not much anymore. So here, have a seat. He points toward the desk where there is one chair to sit in. Here, let me grab. He walks in.
No, it's good.
Oh, okay. Well,
Tate will just lean against the wall.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Birdie will take the seat.
He goes and sits on the other side of the desk. There's a decent amount of dust over parts of the office. Other parts, like the desk, appear to have been recently used. He sits down behind it. So you asked about the logging companies. Well, they were after the white pines, and once they had enough of them, they took off. It's honestly been, this town's struggling a little bit to keep up ever since they left. We've had about a dozen, maybe more people leave. Well, the rest of them are struggling, probably not too far behind them.
Yeah, we see similar stuff out east, little mining camps, communities. The shaft runs dry. Company picks up and moves on to another promising prospect. And you got folks who would settled down, put roots, and now they got nothing going. So, yep.
Yeah, well, you had people here that were starting families and hoping to pass something down to their children, and now, well, they're not sure what to do. A lot of people end up moving out west quite a ways or back east, south, or back to Saginaw proper.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't suppose you came here for a history of the town. How much do you know? What can I answer for you?
Well, we know you guys got some alleged suicides going around.
Yes.
Who were these individuals?
He reaches down to the right behind his desk, opens a drawer, sifts through a few files, pulls one out, opens it. Okay, well, I'll just run down the list. How about that?
Yeah, earliest to most recent, if you don't mind.
The first person we found was Lillian Johnson, younger gal, 19 years old. Then we found my deputy, Smithson, who hailed from this town originally.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, he was a good man, but, there's no but about it. Either way, Richard Townsend, he was late 20s.
Was that the third?
Yes, that was number third down the line. Stephanie Cochran was number 4. Also a young girl, just a little bit younger than Lillian.
Do you have an exact age for her?
She was 18.
Okay.
And the most recent one that we found was Evan Geraldine. Now, the Geraldines are a little peculiar, not to disrespect them in this time. That was very recently they lost somebody, but, well, either way, that's the 5 to answer your question.
That's part of the question. If you don't mind, I want to verify the ages of all of we'll just call them the victims for now, okay?
Sure.
All right, so Deputy Smithson.
Smithson was 30s. Here we go. He flips through some papers. Looks 34. He was 34. That's about what I thought.
All right, Richard Townsend.
Townsend, he licks his thumb, flip. 27.
All right, and then Evan Geraldine.
We don't have an exact date of birth, but 40 years is what seems to be the consensus.
So we're going after old men and young girls.
Yeah, it looks like we got a 22-year age gap between the victims. Let's see. Let's start with the dates, if you don't mind. The earliest one, Lillian Johnson. When did that occur? Just want to make certain our paperwork lines up with the facts.
Lillian's was on the May 30th. Smithson, he passed on June 5th. Townsend was on the 11th. Cochran, Stephanie, was on the 17th. And Evan Geraldine was only a few days ago on the 23rd. Now, I'm sure this is obvious. I sent a wire to your people. There's a 6-day gap in between each of these.
Yep, we had heard that as well. I just wanted to verify.
So, yeah.
Sheriff, you got Birdie's looking around the office. I assume you got a map of the town, right? Maybe a map of the county, too?
Map of the county, yes. He points up toward the wall. There's like a cork board type of thing with a couple old, like real out-of-date pamphlets, like new in town, this blah 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 blah. But it's like a year and a half old.
Yeah, the Kleinsburg Logging Company.
Exactly. Yeah, but there is a map of the county with the Great Lakes are visible. It outlines the Great Lakes, Saginaw, the town. It's kind of like like Anoka County. There's Anoka.
Yeah.
In Anoka County. Saginaw is the same way. There's Saginaw, and then it's the county around it.
All right. Be real helpful if we could pinpoint where these occurred.
Where do the locals like to hang out?
Well, they call it the Round. It's kind of like a community center. I can show you. It's on a short walk to the other side of town. It's a small little thing, but occasionally they'll have get-togethers there.
But no like after-work bar?
Oh, well, there's the inn. The Will Scott's has its own little tavern.
That's where we'll be staying, right?
Yes.
Oh, shoot, Birdie, I thought you were staying right there. And Tate will point over to one of the cells.
Well, I mean, if we have a good enough time at the inn, I just might, right?
Well, the sheriff, he's kind of awkward. He's like forcing a little.
Just yanking your chain there. Yeah. So we got dates, we got names, we got ages. If we could figure out where these are occurring, maybe that could tell us something.
Well,
like, were these all in town?
Yes, all of them were in town. Smithson's death, he happened at his parents'. He'd been visiting them off duty. To be honest with you, this little town, even when there were the loggers, there wasn't terribly much to come here and take care of. The company did a well enough job policing its people. I myself have not had to come out here very often, so.
I take it you're normally out of Saginaw, right?
Yes.
You still been out here before, though. You kind of know some of the folks, or?
As well as I can, yes.
All right.
And these loggers, Sheriff, they leave anything behind? Buildings?
Oh, yes.
Tents.
There's a couple derelicts out. The mill shut down. That's a little ways up the river.
Would it be all right if we went there and checked it out?
Oh, I don't see why not.
You mind pointing it out on this map?
Yeah. He pushes the chair behind him, gets up, and points. We're right here. Points toward a little red dot.
Tate will pull out a pencil and circle it.
Go northeast a ways. Over there. Follow the river. Not terribly long. You'll find it. You'll cross. There's a small bridge.
So you're thinking right about here?
Yes.
And he circles that spot
Well,
on the map.
Yes. You will find it that way.
Writes logging camp with a question mark.
Oh, don't draw on that map.
It's with pencil.
Oh. Yeah, you'll find it.
The report we received said that all the victims had done a bit of writing in a journal.
Yes.
All right. I'd very much like to see those.
The only ones I have access to would be Lillian's and the deputies. The rest were either kept by the family, and it's up to them what they did with them.
Huh. All right. So we got 2 of the 5. Tate, I'm thinking first thing we got to do is get our hands on the remaining 3 so we can compare and contrast. What do you think?
It's not a bad idea, Birdie. Sheriff, your deputy, his family, are they in these parts?
Yes, they own the general store.
I think we should respectfully have a little chat with them, too.
I'm thinking because, so let's see, kind of formulating a plan here. All these unfortunate occurrences happened in the town.
Yes.
Do you think it's a safe assumption that all of the diaries are in town, too?
Well, I don't like to make assumptions. You know what they say.
Yeah. Key to
But
failure.
you, if you were to be a betting man, I don't think you would make out poorly.
Tate, I think we could maybe split up here a little bit. Go play our condolences and, ask to see these and maybe borrow them from the kin.
It's not a bad idea, Birdie.
All right.
Sheriff, would it be all right if we officed out of here a little bit?
Well, I don't see why not.
You got a spare key by any chance?
I'd have to check. I'd have to look into that. To be honest with you, we haven't used this office much. Maybe is what I'll say.
If you find one, you know where we'll be staying.
I can tell you this much. Will Scott is very accommodating, though. I think you'll be served very well there.
Well, are you staying at the inn also?
No. There's a cot in back here that I'll be staying in.
All right. So.
Oh, if you'll be around, it won't be an issue then.
Yeah. It's better for us to not work from an inn if at all possible. That tends to hinder, local business.
Might I ask, what does the federal government want with this?
Yeah, Marshal, you tell him.
Well, we want to get to the bottom of it, right? We got a pattern and a terrible one at that. So first things first, we want to do our absolute best to make certain that it doesn't continue. All right. Now,
Yes.
There have been somewhat similar occurrences in the past and else in other places where similar behavior has been noted, and if left unchecked, it can spiral. So we really are here to prevent any said spiraling.
We don't need a Jack the Ripper on our hands over here.
Well, I've seen most of the corpses before they were terribly molested by everybody else. I don't suspect that this is a murder case.
And we're hoping that it's not too.
I'll be honest with you, though. The idea of it not being murder is perhaps more frightening to me, though.
I agree on that one.
It's a lot easier to just point the finger at one person sneaking through an unlocked window than whatever the alternative might be.
To catch a killer, Birdie.
But I'll tell you, I'm not known for being an uncritical person. That's why I've been elected to this position.
Oh, I can tell.
We're more than happy to, work with you and share any and all findings. This is your county.
I'll be upfront with you, Marshal. I've had negative experiences with federal officials in the past, but I hope we can make this work for the sake of the citizens here.
I agree, Sheriff, and I've had negative experiences at a diner. Don't mean I'm going to stop going to them.
Well, I can appreciate that. Is there anything else I can do for you before we part ways? I personally, not to tell you what to do, but my opinion would be that splitting up the labor would expedite the conclusion.
Yep, that's our intention, is to split up, make contact with the bereaved, hopefully get our hands on the journal temporarily so we can study it and compare them to see if there's anything, that may or may not come to light. We understand that we're dealing with folks in a time of grieving.
Yes.
You got any clue who that fancy-looking gentleman that got off the train was?
Oh, the fellow with the hat and the suitcase?
That's the one.
Looked to me like he was walking toward the mayor's house, but who he was, I don't know. Again, I am not one who likes making assumptions. I will warn you. Here, let me do this. He reaches down, grabs a piece of paper, and he draws out a really rough sketch of the area and the town. It's pretty ugly, and he comments, "I'm no artist, but hopefully this is helpful."
Oh, it could have fooled me.
And then he kind of makes eye contact for just like a second longer than normal, and then he looks down and draws the same thing out, just a little bit better this time, and he hands each of you a small map with 5 circles on it that each have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've numbered these in order, the same order as the deceased, Lillian Johnson being number 1, and the Geraldines, number 5. You notice the Geraldines is a bit out of the way. There are still woods, but you don't see any white pines. And the Geraldines live out in the forest, a little bit out of the way. I will warn you, though, the Geraldines do not like lawmen of any kind. Had it not been a precarious situation, I doubt we'd even know that Evan had passed away.
Well, that's understandable. The law hasn't always been on the side of the folks,
Well, I might argue that's debatable.
I mean, most of the time it is, but you get a big enough organization, you're going to get bad apples in it.
I might debate that's arguable.
Fair enough.
But bad apples do make their way in. You are correct. Either way, I think it's getting to be about lunchtime, and I could use something to eat. I suppose you two might be the same.
Yeah, I could eat.
I don't see why not.
Well, Dennis, Will Scott, he should be having something ready by now. I have my own food here, so we walk past it. I assume you know how to get to it.
I think we can manage.
Very good. Well, I have a few things here to sort out. If you need me, I'll be staying here for a few days while you two conduct your investigation. I don't want to step on your toes, so you let me know what I can help with.
Sheriff, thanks a lot for your help. And
yes.
We'll definitely keep you apprised.
Thank you.
You got a little piece of blank paper?
Yes.
Can I have it?
Well, you can have a whole piece of paper.
I just need a small card-like one.
He takes a regular blank piece of paper, folds it in half, and gives it to you.
I think it's time. Tate, let's hit it.
Lead the way.
And with that in mind, it is now your oyster. Go ahead.
Where are we?
You just walked right out of the sheriff's office.
Well, Birdie, let's go get some lunch. Figure out what we want to do.
Definitely. Yeah, let's go see if we can get some sandwiches or something. And I got a plan brewing that I want to throw your way. And I think it'll work.
I'm all ears.
So you guys are walking back to the Will Scott's?
Yep.
Correct.
It's not very far. It's like a few buildings down. As you're walking, there's a person or two, a horse, walking down the dirt trail, but it's pretty quiet overall. Behind the Will Scott's, though, as you guys get up to it, it's a 2-story building. Presumably, the first story is the tavern, right? And then above that, judging by the size of the building, there's probably about 5, maybe 6 rooms and bath somewhere in there. As you guys get up to it, you hear a couple of young voices from behind it. Sounds like they're arguing. No, I don't know. What? Well, I didn't think.
Tate will put his ear up and try to get as close as he can to hear the conversation.
They're not inside. They're like behind the building.
Yeah. So he'll walk to the corner of the building and try to listen into as much of it as he can.
Roll a listen check.
14 under 62.
Cameron, we're done talking about this, okay? I'm sick of it. This works. and we're not doing anything else, okay? Well, but I'm just, no, stop. Do you have like a stealth check or anything like that?
You want me to roll a stealth check?
What's your stat?
60.
Go ahead and roll. If you're trying to be like sneaky.
59 under 60.
What is Birdie doing?
Birdie was walking and then kind of heard this and saw Tate deviate. Birdie does not follow Tate. He just kind of keeps walking towards the inn, but he slows down.
Birdie, you can see down, there's, like 5 or 6 feet of space between each building. Looking down that space between the Will Scott's Inn and the pharmacy doctor's office, you see 2 young men like arguing with one another. You can't hear particularly well what they're saying, but you get a good look at them. They're both pretty well dressed. One of them is carrying a book bag. And if you want to know anything else, I'd make you roll for it. However, they do see you standing there. It sounds like you're not trying to be sneaky or anything like that.
Birdie is lighting a cigarette.
I said, no, it works. As the one talking looks over and kind of like stops for just like a second and then kind of shoves his friend forward. The one that's talking is the one with the book bag. Kind of shoves his friend off, like making eye contact with you, like, tsk, and they continue on down toward like the housing area.
Birdie is not going to pursue. He's just going to keep slowly walking towards he's not going to say anything to Tate because he can tell that based on his posture, he's trying to do something. So Birdie is business as usual.
It was the same voice talking the whole time, right?
Well, the other one tried to have a rebuttal, but was very quickly like dominated. Voice. Yeah.
And the one that wasn't talking presumably was named Cameron.
That would be a pretty safe.
What I heard. Tate wants to, from a little distance back, if he hears him leaving, he will kind of trail him.
Yeah, and you look over and you see your partner just kind of nonchalantly, rolling a cigarette and lighting it.
So Tate will look over at Birdie, and he just puts his finger up between his lips. He goes, shh.
Birdie's just going to look at him and take a drag of his cigarette and keep moving.
Toward the inn?
Yep.
Okay.
Tate will go and try to carefully follow the people here talking.
Okay, you go down the little, not quite an alley, but you know what I mean, the gap. And
good clothes.
I don't even know if they're still around.
Questionable clothes.
Questionable. Anyway, you go down the gap, kind of put your back up against the doctor pharmacy building, peek your head just a little bit over. You see the 2 of them continuing to walk. They're not speaking, and they're getting further away toward the row of houses just down the way.
Tate's goal is to figure out their end destination.
They keep walking. The houses are maybe 150 yards away. Not super far, but far enough that your naked eye might have a difficult time determining exactly which house they turn to. But eventually they do turn left and disappear.
And they're in the housing district?
You have the 3 rows of stores and buildings, and then 150 yards away, the leftmost dirt road continues, and then there's one long row of houses on the left side of the road.
Okay.
There are some trees around the area still, but most of the area on the other side of the houses, like your side. So I should draw a northwest, southeast
You can do
map.
it when you get home.
I will. Anyway, Can you see what I'm saying?
Kind of, but Tate can't see what house they go in or where they
Tate
split
cannot
up.
see unless he were to like go further after them.
He will go a little bit further. And at this point, it wouldn't be I'm secretly stealthing behind you, following you. It would be more of just
Walking.
I'm walking.
Hey, we're walking here. I'm walking
hey, I'm
here.
walking here.
How far away do they get before you continue after them?
How far away were they originally?
When you got to the corner of the pharmacy, they were 20 yards, and then they continued on.
Probably be like 30.
Okay, you're just like walking after them?
Not after them per se, but in the same direction. 'Cause
Okay.
they haven't seen me yet.
Roll. So, like, if you're trying to be nonchalant, well, they did see your partner,
Yeah, but they haven't seen me.
but they are on edge. You can tell they're on edge
Yeah,
because somebody was sitting there
understandably.
looking at them. So roll something to either A, act nonchalant in a convincing way, or B, something stealthy where they don't see you at all. One or the other.
It'd either be a persuade or a stealth. Right.
Yeah, like psychology.
Fuck it, let's try to persuade that I'm just a average person walking.
What are you doing to persuade that you're just an average person walking?
He's kind of walking down, and he's trying to make it look like he's assessing the housing, as if maybe he's a potential buyer.
Okay.
Because Tate doesn't look like a regular individual. And he's a little bit more classy.
Right. Okay, well, roll your dice. Tell me what you get.
77, that's a critical fail. So in looking at the houses and trying to make it look like he's not following, I think he gets a little bit too distracted at certain aspects of the housing. Like, why is there so much wind damage on the aft up there? That tornado must have really gone through here.
This dude's convinced that there are tornadoes up here.
And by the time he looks down, he's like, where the fuck did they go?
And they're gone.
Tate will go back and head towards the Will Scott.
I assume Birdie's still smoking there? Like, what is
Birdie's
he doing?
out front of the inn, taking his time with a cigarette, drinking in his surroundings, right? Tipping his cap to any locals that may or may not walk by him, right? He's waiting outside because he can still listen to see if he hears anything from his erratic partner.
You hear the footsteps before you see them, like on the dirt, grass.
You still feeling like a sandwich?
Yeah, I just got a little sidetracked.
Right? It'll happen.
Those two boys, you get a good look at them, Birdie?
I got a look. I won't say I got a good look.
Try to remember the one that wasn't talking.
Well,
Anything special about him?
I mean, barring the fact that we had some young men chatting in an alley. One of them was carrying books, but that was the one that was chatting. The other one, did Birdie get, like, was it much more than a glance?
7 seconds worth.
Oh, 7 seconds is more than enough to discern, was that dude dressed in a potato sack or did he have on...
Oh, well, I had mentioned the one speaking had a book bag, like a satchel book bag, and they both were pretty well dressed.
Okay, they both were.
Yeah, and anything besides that, I'd make you roll for it.
They looked like well-to-do young lads to me.
Well, in that case, Birdie is the one that wasn't talking. Pretty sure his name was Cameron.
All right.
Do you think you could point him out in a crowd?
I could definitely point out the one that had the bag. Cameron, maybe. I mean, this town ain't that big, right?
This is true, but we might want to talk to those kids. They were whispering about not talking about something anymore because whatever they were doing was working.
Yeah, it could be...
It's not a bad lead to follow.
it could be something. Could be nothing more than young men being young men, but I'm not going to dismiss it.
Let's go eat.
Agreed. We'll walk into Will Scott's.
You walk into Will Scott's and you see what looks like a very stereotypical inn. There's 4 tables, each of which has 4 chairs, a kind of bar top with a couple drinks and stuff like that. There's a guy behind it that is just, he's got a rag in one hand and a glass in the other, and he's just sitting there wiping them, looking down at a newspaper. And then he hears the door open. He looks up, sees the two of you. Oh, here. Welcome.
Afternoon.
Afternoon. Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Lunch?
Yes. What, we have, sandwiches. We have, oats. We have some beer as well. Local made. What can I get for you?
I'll take a beer and a sandwich.
Yeah, make that too, please. We're also, pardon us, my name is Marshal Hubert Johnson. You can call me Birdie.
Oh, Dennis Wilscott. Nice to meet you.
Will Scott. All right. This
Yes.
is your establishment.
Yes, mine. Yep.
Perfect. We're going to need a couple rooms too if you have the vacancy.
Yep. Sheriff Garvey talked to me. All right. I knew you two were coming. I have room 3 and 4 ready for you.
Perfect.
Separate rooms. Thank God.
Well, I'd say just right.
Yep. 2 men in the same room. That's just not right. Nope.
Couldn't agree more with you.
Well, so you said 2 sandwiches and did you brew?
2 beers.
2 beers?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me.
I mean, is it any good?
I drink it myself,
Fair
so
enough.
I think pretty good. Yeah. I mean, better, worse. It's beer.
You had me at beer.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. I'll be right back.
As long as it's cold and smooth.
He goes through a door that's clearly has like spring hinges on it. The way it like flaps behind him. You hear some. Comes back out. I assume you're here for the deaths. Sandwiches and beers will be right up. By the way, sorry. Do you want to sit at the bar? We have tables.
I'd like a table.
All right. Well, there's. You got the picking of them.
All right. Well, thank you kindly. We'll just be right over here.
Mr. Wilscott,
Yeah.
since you're bringing it up, why don't you sit and tell us what you know?
Oh, I have a bar to run. I don't know if I can
Nobody's
sit.
in here.
Well, I have 2 patrons here, so and there could be more coming in behind you.
This is a small town, sir. They know you, you know them. They're here at the same time every day.
Well,
Just give us a minute.
okay, fine.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Which? Well, no, I shouldn't. I'm sorry.
Well, how about we sit up at the bar and you chat with us?
Well, that would be.
And he sets a quarter down on the bar top.
Oh. He puts out a middle finger, open palm, middle finger, pulls it over, puts it in his pocket.
Birdie kind of and picks up his bag that he set next to the table and walks over to the, all right, I guess this is what we're doing.
Birdie, you're such a downer.
Hey, man, just,
Well, what can I?
What do you know about him?
Well, it's a tragedy. I mean, the kids got to be doing something. I don't know, but they're not all kids, so I don't know. I couldn't.
Do you know any of them yourself?
Well, sure.
On a personal level. Regulars here.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, regulars. I mean, Deputy Smithson would be in here pretty often when he'd come to visit. His parents owned the general store nearby. But the other, it's the Geraldines are very seldom here in town. When they are, usually they're selling their liquor.
So the Geraldines are a distillery of sorts?
Of sorts, yeah. I think they grow corn too, but
Corn liquor.
yeah.
Hey, don't you worry, friend. We didn't hear from you.
But the other two, I get my kid, my son, he knew them from school. Not a lot of young folks in town, and so most of them know each other, especially the boys and the girls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I know.
Well, I mean, hey, we don't need to put you on the spot at the moment. We can take a seat, enjoy a meal, and
As the door flies open and a woman with 2 sandwiches, each on their own plate, and a couple of fried potatoes, sets one down in front of you and one down in front of you, and then she reaches down and pours and hands each of you a beer. She's a older woman, not older, looks to be about the same age as Dennis.
Well, these look delicious. Thank you, ma'am.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she runs back to the kitchen. So you get your sandwiches and your beer. Tastes all right. It's a little bit of hop, a little bit of sweet, solid alcohol content. It's all right.
Not a bad brew.
You could knock a lot of these back, no problem.
I could get used to this, Birdie.
Yeah, not bad at all.
The sandwich is white bread with cheese, lettuce, tomato, and thick slices of fried ham.
All right, now this sandwich right here, let's just say when I go back to Pennsylvania, I'll be talking to folks about the delightful sandwich I had at Will Scott's.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And well, what do you think about the beer?
I could drink 10 of them. I'm not gonna because we're unofficial.
Oh, right.
But
Yes.
yeah.
Well, maybe tonight when you come back for the evening.
I mean, I feel like you just threatened me with a good time there, friend. No, very, very lovely.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, I'll leave you to it.
Actually, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind picking your brain a bit.
Well, sure. What can I do for you?
So, Birdie's gonna kind of look around and lower his voice, even though they're the only folks in there. So, it's not the status quo for us to discuss, ongoing investigations, right? But,
yeah.
But we got a small, lovely town here, and
Oh, thank you.
And my Tate and I here have some maybe less than pleasant business to go about.
Oh, sure.
We're going to have to go and visit the family of Richard Townsend, Stephanie Cochran, and Evan Geraldine. And are you familiar with any of them?
Well, like I said, my son was acquainted, I think, to some degree with the younger folks. He's also he's 19 himself, and there's not a lot of young folks here, so they all get together with each other. But so that's people come in here, they have a drink or 2 or 5 and a meal sometimes, but I don't. And the kids all hang out. That's just my. Yeah, I mean, is there something particular you'd like to know?
We just, it's tough approaching a family in a time of mourning. I guess if there's any words of wisdom, friendly advice you could give us, because we got to go chat with them. It's our job.
Well, the Geraldines, they're an odd bunch. I'll say that much. When they come into town, they have a lot of ideas, is maybe what I'll say. The Johnsons are fairly well off.
What about the Cochrans?
Well, they're struggling, put it that way.
All right. And then Townsend.
Well, the general store doesn't struggle. And Townsend was, sheriff's deputies don't make a small pittance for their income, but
It's mostly well-to-do individuals.
Folks here, we the logging companies came out and we heard there was opportunity. We started our businesses. And now we do as much as we can.
I believe that.
Yeah. Boom did not boom, right?
Well, yeah. They say trees grow back, but Well,
Not overnight.
yeah, that's right. You'll notice there's a few empty buildings in town. Yeah, that's folks who tried their lot and just haven't stuck around. I mean, my wife and I, we've talked about heading back out west or east. It's a lot of doing, and nobody wants to buy this land, this property. So we're kind of stuck.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Kind of raises his eyebrows and makes a face, cocks his head to the side like it is what it is.
You know a kid named Cameron?
Cameron Taylor. That's my son's friend. Sorry. Taylor's father is one of the church administrators.
Okay. You know what house they're in by any chance?
Well, he kind of, shrugs his eyebrows down and then kind of raises him back up like, well, normally I wouldn't tell folk, but he's the fifth house down. His father sometimes will sleep in the church, but he is a man of God. I'll say that much about him.
What's your boy's name, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew, was a young man, what, 18, 19?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. I could feel I could imagine being 18 or 19 in this town, feeling the pull of the wider world around me.
Oh, it's tough. We all, not to complain, we lived the lives we were given, but we all hope to start something we could pass on down to our kids, and here we are, not quite sure what we're gonna do tomorrow.
It's happening all over the country. It's a dang shame.
The front door opens, and the gentleman with the bowler cap and briefcase walks in. He's wearing a brown kind of overcoat, and he stops, looks around a little bit, up the stairs, walks up to the bar. Hey, can I just get what do you guys got? Oh, excuse me 1 minute.
Take your time. Birdie will turn in his stool, kind of do that 45 to kind of open up towards the newcomer.
Tate leans back and crosses his arms.
You're both like staring at the guy?
Birdie's not staring, but when he comes in, Birdie will turn to kind of open up his posture and face him, holding the beer. And if the guy looks him in the eye, Birdie will nod and raise his beer.
Dennis Will Scott walks back into the kind of, you assume, kitchen area. Meanwhile, the gentleman with the bowler brings up with like a heavy arm the briefcase, sets it down on the bar, and starts rubbing his temples like he's got a headache, kind of loosening the hat a little bit higher than it ought to sit.
How far is he, like 5-10 feet away?
4 or 5 bar stools down. Not that it's a long bar, you know what I mean? It's maybe a 10 stool bar tops.
While he's rubbing his temples. Rough day, friend?
Huh?
Just rough day?
It's been fine. Yeah, fine. Fine day.
All right.
He kind of like crosses his arms and leans over onto the bar.
Well, they make a mean sandwich and they pour a decent beer here.
He's got a face like he's had a bad day. Thanks. How about you guys? You had a good day, bad day? You look a little grim.
We've had worse. Had better. Yeah, it's just a day so far.
Tate just kind of grunts.
Yeah, you got off the train same time as we did.
Oh, yeah, I did.
What brings you into town, if you don't mind me asking?
Just then Dennis comes out, sandwich, beer, sets it in front of the guy you're talking to.
One more for me, Dennis.
Oh, yep. All right.
And he holds up his tankard.
He grabs it, refills it, hands it to you. Anything else? How about you? You look like you're maybe a little dry.
You know, I wouldn't say no to a refill myself.
All right. Yeah, but not too many, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
We'll keep it respectable.
And you're Yep, I'm good. Thanks. Okay. Well, I have to attend to something. I'll be right back, okay?
Take your time.
Okay. He heads through that door again. What are you two in town for? If you don't mind my asking.
It's kind of official business, you know? Bet some unpleasantness around here that we're taking a peek into.
Yeah, not good. I don't tell that to the locals.
Agreed.
He takes a big swig off his glass, then a big bite out of his sandwich.
I'm going to take 3 guesses here, if you don't mind. And you tell me how close I am to the mark.
Okay.
All right. First guess, lawyer.
Wrong.
Second guess, banking and investment.
Ooh. He takes another couple swigs and another bite. And with the mouth kind of still full of the sandwich. Yeah, pretty close.
All right. So, yep. Help some folks get out here, get set up with the login. Login goes away, and now we're on lean times, and folks are, yep. Hey, I don't envy you your job.
Well, if I might, couple guesses. He very quickly polishes off his beer. These are not small glasses. Hey, Dennis! Hey, Dennis! He comes out real quick. Yeah? Mind just give me another, about 2. The room ready? Yeah, it's ready. All right, thanks. Dennis seems to have a familiarity with the guy, pours him 2 more and sets them in front of him. Anything else for you? You guys, you two still good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Thanks, Dennis.
Clay, right?
Yeah, and I'll be good.
Okay. He heads back, kind of gives you guys like a big 2 thumbs up.
We'll holler if we need you.
Okay, yep. You two, not real estate?
Swing and a miss, friend.
Not real estate. What else could it be? Polishes off like a third of his second one very quick.
I think if you get it, I might give you a few dollars.
Few dollars?
Oh, big spender over here.
He takes the hat off his head. You can see he's got long-ish hair, but the top is starting to really thin out. He sets the hat down on his suitcase or his briefcase. Oh, well, you asked me if I was with the bank, which to me says you're not with it, because you would know if I was. You're not with the logging company, are you?
Not loggers.
Strike 2.
Ooh. Well, you dressed pretty well. He drinks another third of his rather large tankard. He's taking like gulps of it. He's not sipping on it. He's not tasting. He's just drinking it. Something about you says government.
Swing and a miss, my friend. Production.
Roll a lie check.
It's a 52 over 30 on psychology.
Production of what?
Movies. Motion pictures.
You don't seem like the production type.
Scouting out spots.
Scouting out.
They got to send real men to check these places out in case they're violent.
What's your opinion of the that Inferno film came out?
Didn't like it myself too much.
Birdie is... Well, you guys continue. I got to hit the head.
You seen any of the other work from that director? Berchani? You like some of his work?
Birdie has got up and walked outside.
Yeah.
We're more of the chaplain sorts.
Chaplain, well, yeah, that's fine. Pretty mainstream. You can tell he's not eating what you're serving, but he's kind of nods his head like, I know you're lying, but okay.
Do I believe him on what he's here for?
Roll for it.
Is that psychology again?
Whatever you want it to be.
Fireman. Firearms.
Yes.
It has to make sense.
That's a 74 over whatever. It's a failure no matter what.
Well, yeah, sure. You don't know.
Hard to read.
You don't know. He's hard to read. He finishes off his second beer and then grabs his third. I'll leave you to it. You gonna be in town a couple days, a couple weeks?
Well, it's
You
hard
moving
to say
here?
how long.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day. He grabs his hat, puts it back on his head a little loose, grabs a suitcase and his other hand with his beer, departs. With one foot, pushes the stool closer to the bar and then goes up the stairs.
Well, fancy leaving at just the right time, Birdie.
Well, I mean, nature calls, right?
I suppose.
So
What do you think we do?
Well, first off, I don't know. Why'd you give that guy a tail?
I don't like him.
Huh. All right. Well, maybe he's an unlikable guy. I don't know. I've learned to trust your gut a little bit, so we'll roll with that one. Down to brass tacks. Going forward with this, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking you could go visit the Townsends. You know, they got the general store here, right? And then the Cochrans are also local.
Is that 1 and 2 on the map here?
That is 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah, I was gonna hop out to the Geraldines. They're a bit of ways out.
Yeah, it's probably best you do them.
Yeah, I mean they sound a bit
Precarious.
unconventional. Yeah.
So how about let's just keep it a little easy. I'll start at 1, and you start at 5, and we can meet at 3.
Well, the primary goal here is for us to get them journals that they were writing in, right?
Yeah, but we still need to talk to them all.
We do got to talk to them all. You're right.
I think it's easier this way. Just a days of work.
Yeah. I'm going to head out to Geraldine's tomorrow. I don't think we're going to be able to. You'll have to take at least 3 of them.
I can
Because
make it work.
You'll be local. You know what I mean?
I'm
And
used to doing the work, Birdie.
hey, man, no one ever said you ain't willing to work. So, yeah. I figure because 4 of the 5 are close, you know, we can get you working your way around here.
I think that's fair.
Right? I don't, when I come in, we'll touch base and see what's what. But
I do want to touch up on this Cameron kid.
yeah,
See what the heck they were talking about.
well, I mean, that's the friend of Will Scott's kid here. So
And we know where he's at now, so.
you did get that.
Well,
That feels like a tomorrow task.
well, see you at breakfast?
See you at breakfast, man. Let's call her a night.
Well, you guys just had lunch.
Oh,
So
all right.
I think you guys would head out to your first.
Yeah. Birdie?
Yeah.
It might be a little too early in the day to push anything out for tomorrow yet.
Yeah. Well,
I think I'm going to go check on this Cameron kid today. Well, it's still fresh in his memory.
Well, while you do that, I'll go to the general store and touch base with the Townsends. The Geraldines, I think, are too far for me to head there today. So
Yeah, that's tomorrow's problem.
yeah. All right, I'll go touch base with the general store folk. You go see what's up with the Cameron.
Works for me.
All right, kid gloves, okay? Play nice.
Well, it depends on how his parents are.
Remember, we're guests here. We don't want to raise a panic, but we definitely gotta get some results here to see if we can't.
And we got to do it quick.
Yeah, we gotta end the cycle.
Well, let's head out.
All right, let's do it.
And Tate will get up to leave.
Finn. Hey everybody, Cody coming at you again. Just want to say, go through the usual stuff. Thank you for listening. We have a number of new listeners, new followers, what have you, and I just want to say to all of you, I appreciate you and thank you. And I want to ask for everybody to do that thing that I like. Listen, okay. I watch a lot of YouTube. I listen to video essays and whatever. And, anytime somebody's like, hey, subscribe, it makes a big difference. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. But no, you know what? It does make a big difference. I mean, it really does. Shows like this, they spread, they get to people, they grow via word of mouth. Algorithms be damned. All right. If you have a group of buddies that you think would be interested in the show, or you have a friend or a coworker or a family member, whatever, let them know, hey, there's this show. And, I'm sure I've said something similar to this before, but, I would really appreciate it, as would Dubois and Sadesky, if you could, shout us out in whatever way you can. And like and subscribe and follow and rate and whatever. Also, new shirt for So Let It Be Written. That's live on the website. At least it should be, assuming I, actually hit the button to enable that shirt. If the shirt's not on there, go ahead and let me know in the Discord link below. And if the shirt is there, go ahead and let me know by, ordering one. Or one of the other, awesome things we have on there. Link also down below. But anyway, again, thank you for listening. And yeah, what the hell is going on in White Round, Michigan? Weird.